2 batteries sorted the problem out, which is fantastic. It's a long way to come from Auckland all the way down here to have those sort of issues, but they have worked together as a team, now producing a boat coming out on the water now. Jojo Kapua doing the navigational duties. Keep an eye on your navigator here, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly very, very committed navigator, not one of the overly animated navigators, but certainly keeps the arm up there, and I can guarantee you at the end of the day, after 5 or 6 rotations, she will have a very sore arm come at the end of racing today. And this is a great example to show that driver and navigator do work in tandem for their ultimate outcome. Now down the front chute, looking for the split at the 36, 37, about a 36 on the split. It didn't trip the split there, but that's okay, so long as it trips the final time. So Betsy across the line there with a 52 and a little bit of change. Didn't get the stop on the clock there. 53 is what we've got here with our stopwatches, so we'll put that down. The 2 guys in here with our backup stopwatch systems got the time within 0.05 of a second of one another, so that works out pretty good. Now we've got to do calculations to work out exactly what half of 51.0 whatever and 50, but nah, it's all right. We don't need to worry too much about that. So looks as though, just have a quick chat to our guys up in timing here. Tim, we're not overly worried about that, didn't stop it. Tim? It didn't stop on that. So anyway, we'll continue racing. We've got the backup stopwatches, which we've had working to great effect if they become necessary. So it is Carl Brentzel now coming out on track. Hamish Murray doing the navigational duties. These guys in the first 3 qualifying rounds were doing a really big back off in the second time up into the Lucas Oils roundabout at the top part of the track. The 4th qualifier, they got all over it, so they are really looking to focus this time and just maintain that boat speed going in there. It does take some intestinal fortitude, it does take some hairy ones if you really want to put it down to that. So the Timber Creek contract, oh, he really squared up the Lucas Oils there, really had to get very heavy on the steering wheel to get the boat back into the centre of the channel. Oh, the big back off a lot earlier that time. It didn't upset the boat handling into it. On and off the accelerator, or is that just a miss? No, there is definitely a bit of a problem with the engine there. You're hearing the pop, certainly not running as smoothly as it could be. So that'll put a little bit of doubt in the driver's head, wondering if the boat is going to cut out, because if there's no water going through the jet unit, it's all over. And a 51.764 for Carl Brentzel. Obviously a few issues there that they need to work out, and unfortunately just having a look at the moment of the crew from the White Noise vessel, they're having a pretty tough afternoon. Loss of oil pressure, just having a quiet can down here. How you going there, Hayden?
Wonderful.
Yeah, enjoying that Canadian club?
Beautiful. Racing?
You haven't got, oh, you'd rather be racing. I say, I wouldn't mind one of those Canadian clubs. Yeah.
You're working?
Oh, I know I'm working. You know, I've got to take my job responsibly, mate. This is a fairly serious role I have here, you know. Bevan Edwards now coming out for his qualifying 5 run in the Group A category. Claudia doing the navigational duties. PGG Wrightsons and Westview Aluminium. Waiting for the green light. There it goes. And away goes the man. Bevan Edwards, Claudia Edwards doing the navigational duties for the Lucas Oils Group A. Lucas Oils, because it works. Oh, eased it off. Oh, caught a little bit of the crosswash. That might have surprised him a little bit. It was interesting back off through there. Very, very flip-floppy down that back chute. Got to keep it in the middle, and he did exactly that. Probably went the long way around a little bit, but certainly got the pace on at the moment at 33.6 on the split. The rookie out on track at the moment, really making some big leaps and bounds as the day's wearing off. Few little moments of indecision, and a tidy lap with a 50.176, 50.176. So that's their quickest time of the day by about 0.7 of a second. So you can see on the big screen there, it's Clayton and Mandy Tisdall. They've got the silver helmets on there. In the case, Vessel, brought here by Tisdall Contracting. The locals here, ladies and gentlemen. Clayton just trying to get comfortable in the seat. Waiting for our launch master to give them the okay. She's just done exactly that. The jet speed hull designed and developed down here on the South Island. We've also got Sir Peter Coey in the house here today, ladies and gentlemen. Multiple New Zealand champion, multiple world champion. He's not a Sir yet, but I do think that we should have a bit of a chat to those in the power to see if he could get knighted. The developer of Sprint Tech race hulls just down here, seeing how his charges are going throughout the day as Clayton and Mandy Tisdall launch off the line. Lot of confidence. Have a look at Mandy just putting her hand right over the face of Clayton Tisdall to make sure that he is keeping the boat on the rotation proper. Into the all-important hairpin. This jet speed hull just gets through there very nicely indeed. Down into the sweeper at Novus Auto Glass. The timing has just come up, so we won't worry about the split. Don't worry about what you're seeing on the big screen, because that is incorrect. We've got the stopwatches up here. We will determine very quickly where they're at, and that is a 48.25, 48.25. So they have gone about half a second slower than they did in their qualifying 4 round. So 48 and a little bit of change there for Clayton and Mandy. Looks like Sean and Faye Rice will be out next. No, it won't. It'll be, looks like Daniel Thornton. So Daniel Thornton, it looks like, coming off the trailer. A-Crane Transport, the sponsors on board with these guys. AJ Keenan doing the navigational duties. As a reminder, this is qualifying round number 4. No, sorry, qualifying round number 5 in the Group A category. We'll be going to finals after this. So Daniel Thornton up into the top part of the track, really getting the times down and just sort of getting that confident. Of course, one of the rookies here this season, so it does take a little bit of time to get your head around this, as we have discussed multiple times throughout the course of the day. So nice turn of pace up in there to Lucas Oils. Very smooth indeed. And smooth is fast. Great work around that hairpin as well. Like what I'm seeing. Through the split at a 36.7, so well off the pace, but still keeping the boat very smooth, and that's what we like to see into that left and right hand combination. And across the line with a 54.410, 54.410. Sean and Faye Rice will be the next off the ramp. These guys will be competing in the Australian jet sprinting series. Have just picked up their second boat, did a lot of testing with that throughout the course of this week, and that will be going in the container at some point this week, being sent to Australia for the first round over there in Temora in New South Wales for the 29th of February. So Sean and Faye Rice very, very committed to the sport of jet sprinting. Now's the time they really need to step up. They are a long way back from where they'd like to be with the likes of Cy Gibbon, Ollie Silverton, Ross Travers. So these guys really going to have to pull one out here. And it looks as though Sean Rice has got the race pace right on. Very nice around Lucas there, a little bit porpoisey, nothing to worry about. A bit of a back off, heading into the hairpin, acquitted himself, committed himself, hesitation, big hesitation. Now they are back on track properly. Wanted to go left but needed to go right. 32.331. It was Faye Rice that saved that from being an incorrect rotation. You saw her hand working very hard to get her husband back online. So quick reflexes, very knifey down the bottom, untidy towards the end at a 48.244. 48.244. For Sean Rice. So yeah, a bit slow, about half a second slower than his previous best run, but there was that big moment of hesitation in the middle of that lap, and the latter part of that lap coming around the Nova sweeper for the final time really just knifed it in too hard, lost a lot of momentum. So Cy Gibbon, Donna Thompson now in the Novus Auto Glass machine. These two have been having a cracking run right up until Q4 when Ollie Silverton pipped them in that run. So it is now the battle for Q5. Who is going to take the lead heading into the sudden death top 9? And that all these guys want to take that lead knowing that they are walking into that finals, the sudden death eliminations on top to develop the confidence. So Simon Gibbon from North Canterbury. This Stinger hull just looking resplendent out there. Oh, a bit of a back off through that crosswash, but it set himself up beautifully. What a lovely exit out of Lucas Oils. The hairpin, he's done very nicely indeed. You can see Donna Thompson making sure that he stayed in the centre channel. The split is a good one at a 30.149. Cy Gibbon had to ease it off to get into that tight left-hander. Does it very nicely through the washing machine. Set it up nicely, a bit of an ease off, and a 45.520. 45.520, that is a cracking time. And Cy Gibbon is 0.11 slower than he was during qualifying round number 4. Amazing, Darky. Yeah. Mate, we don't really have the other microphone. Come over here, mate. We'll have to get close, mate. We'll have to get
Not
close.
that close, mate.
Yeah, how have you been?
Yeah, good, mate. How's yourself?
Yeah, pretty good for a good-looking fella, thank you.
Yeah, but how's yourself?
Geez, I'll tell you what, mate, last time we'll bring you up in the commentary tower and have a chat there. Mate, how's all our motorsport on TV looking?
Yeah, no, it's looking pretty good. We've got just had the second round of the Symmetry Circuit was last week on CRC. Of course, all 6 rounds of the PSP Jet Sprinting Championships will be on CRC Motorsport a little bit later on in the year. Got the Palmerston North Teams Nationals coming up in a couple of weeks. That'll be on CRC as well. So, yeah, there's lots happening.
Mate, you're always fairly busy, and, of course, later in the year we'll be catching up with one another at the Suzuki Extreme 4x4 just out of Wanganoo. What's the name of that bloody town? I've forgotten. Turakina, that's the one. So that'll all be good to catch up.
Yeah, great. Looking forward to that.
Great having a quick catch up with you, mate. Ross Travers and Amanda Kiddo now coming out for their qualifying 5 run in the Group A category. The Radioactive is the machine. The Group A boat's normally running an 8.5-inch jet unit. This one is an 8.25. Had a chat to Super Submarine Ross Travers, Super Mario, after he submarined the boat at Wanganui last round. They had to tear it down. They had to replace the valves, and the valves only came in from America about 4 days ago. So they had very limited time to be able to get this boat sorted out and down here. But having a pretty good run. Ross is pretty happy with the way that the boat's handling at the moment. So Radioactive through the split. It is a 31.2. Needs to be about a second quicker to get up with the guys of Cy Gibbon and Ollie Silverton. Super Mario looking the goods through the line, and it is a 46.741. So 0.1 slower than his previous best time that was in qualifying round 4. So consistent, if nothing else.
Only an invitation to miss, but the thing are on top of it.
Just heard from Darky. He said that Ollie Silverton was chasing a miss in the PSP Group A vessel, so they reckon they're on top of it. So it's always interesting to find out what's been going on during the lunch break. There's always plenty of little nuances happening in there, and quite often they won't share their secrets with the commentator. I don't know why that is. I've never understood that. I suppose because I've got the microphone. Hey, how's this, Darky? Kyle, who ate all the pies, Patrick, was telling me during the lunch break, he said, I don't like being called who ate all the pies. I said, mate, that's not for you to decide. He said, but I don't like it. And I said, no, I've got the microphone, it's my decision. Yeah, well, that's it. And, you know, Daniel Reid, who's unfortunately not down here today, we call him Butterbean. He hates it when I call him Buttercup. Not his decision. That's it. The man with the microphone wins. I like that. I think I might utilise that to my benefit in years to come. So Neil Marshall, Hayley Brudding in the Stinger Boats machine. Didn't have a chat to them during the lunch break, Darky. Did you manage to have a chat? Oh, they were signing all the autographs. And this boat just looks great with that Stinger. Oh, have a look at that line through there. That is a very, very tight line up into Lucas Oils. Yeah, Neil Marshall really on top of his game here today compared to last time we saw him. Hayley Brudding just working wonderfully as a team around that hairpin. Just bogged it down a little bit on the exit. Now down the mouth pressure, front chute into the split. The split is reasonable at a 31.545. So Neil Marshall starting to come into his own during this qualifying round number 5. Finds himself in with the likes of Cy Gibbon, Ross Travers, so that's where he wants to be. Neil Marshall across the line with a 47.246, slots himself into position number 3 at the moment, with still Tim Coleman and Ollie Silverton left to run to round out qualifying 5 in the Group A category. So Neil Marshall, just having a quick look here his time was a 47.246, so he's gone about half a second quicker than his previous best. Interesting that it's half a second quicker or half a second slower. Not much variation between that. Well, I've just been told that I'm doing numbers halfway near correctly. That's going to be the first time ever. The gentleman, Tim Gibbs, just gracing himself in the commentary tower with his presence after many years bloody hiatus. And all these Dundarkies in here, and he's just been throwing bloody mud pies at me all day.
Without the shoes and socks on?
So we now have Ollie Silverton, the man who has posted the fastest time of the day so far with a 45.336. We just heard that they had a bit of a miss in the engine. They do believe that they're on top of it. And of course the PSP race team here, very well managed, and has certainly come with a number of people. So Ollie has that opportunity just to do the driving, have a chat to them and let the mechanics go about their job. Just sit doing the navigational duties, and this boat looking really good indeed. Ollie just going up into Lucas Oil's absolutely flat out, not backing off at all. A man driving full of confidence, full of ability, and knowing that the package is absolutely spot on. Little bit bogged down the back there. The split is a 30.385. Cy Gibbon was quicker by 0.2 of a second at the split. So Ollie Silverton, will he be able to muscle his way into P1? So Ollie Silverton across the line with a 45.689 and into P2 by about 0.169 of a second. So Cy Gibbon takes the chocolates for Q5 going in to our finals in the Group A, full of confidence and leading the charge.
Story about Tim? Give you a story about Tim. The man that's doing the timekeeping today, Tim Gibbs.
Yep.
This weekend at Woodville, I should say, up in the Tararua Ranges in the North Island, is the Honda Motocross Grand Prix.
Yep.
Tim and a good friend of his, Ken Cleghorn, brought motocross because he competed in motocross in Europe in the ISDE, if you know what that is, in National Six-Day Endurance.
Yep.
He brought motocross to New Zealand way back when, like it's 50 odd years ago now.
Wow.
He's a gold medalist at the ISDE. There's way more to Tim than meets the eye.
Is that right? Geez, I tell you what, I didn't think there could be that much, because earlier in the day he fell off his own chair.
That's because he was trying to raise himself up.
So Tim Gibbs, certainly a man of mystery, and well, that's good to know, mate. I'll find out more about you yet.
I told him about the Woodville. How you and Ken started Woodville. Yeah, I know, that's what I said.
Yeah, so amazing as we got Tim Coleman and Dylan Matthews in Violent Tendencies out on track at the moment, going out with a lot more boat speed this time out. They've certainly got the rotation sorted out between the years, and that is half the problem. Not just the equipment between the years is a massive issue, and it looks as though Tim Coleman and Dylan Matthews have put their heads together and come up with something that's looking like a reasonable lap for these guys. Only their third time out on the track here today so far. Let's hope that this is going to be good enough to see them get into the finals. The split's down on where they need to be, but 33.5 is a lot better. It's about 2 seconds quicker than they've been through there previously. Into the crosswash. It didn't upset the boat too much. A bit of a back off into the final left-hander. Tim Coleman and Dylan Matthews with a 50.244. 50.244. Righto, let's go to the Great Escape story about Tim Gibbs here in commentary, mate.
Bud Eakins was the man that did the jump that Steve McQueen did in the movie The Great Escape back in the 60s.
Yeah, righto.
Tim and Bud are great friends. Tim was on that shoot. He did the other stuff, the jumping the fences and all that sort of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, no, he's a marvel, old Tim.
So he's a superstar stuntman behind the scenes, and yet he couldn't sit on a chair earlier.
He's old now.
Yeah, well, I suppose he is, but, you know, that is just amazing. Tim, that is just, I can't believe he's been playing all that. Wow.